into a wealthy family. You have intense arguments with her sister-in-law. This time she directly knocked her to the ground. Everyone was stunned, didn't know how to fight. Physical conflict in her half-century of life. Now being assaulted was utterly shocked, like a madman. She bit and scratched to harm Ran, without regard for appearances. In Ran's mind, Kuwaiwai was cruel words. My selfish thing, family's sake, betrayed my own heart to marry a stranger. Constant suppression. The parents acted still suffer indignities. Furious Ran threw Weihua down again. Her eyes reddened, tears blurring her vision. Old Master Yang rushed in, pointing at the brawling women. Separate them! The maids hesitated. At that moment, two men arrived hearing the commotion. Zhang Chenji rushed forward, embracing his enraged wife. Mayor Zhang helped his wife from the floor, asking worriedly, Weihua, alright? Zhang Chenji looked down at the weeping girl in his arms. She's actually cried. Struck the floor with his cane. Madness. Utter madness. Patch was right. It's an impending punishment for someone. Weihua's confidence spoke up, Master. The second young maid attacked first. We all witnessed it. Testify. Ran bit her lip, betraying Chenji's embrace. Her bloodshot eyes met his. This what you wanted? Then trembling, she addressed old Jiang. Parents' humiliation today won't go unanswered. Her gaze fell on the trampled gift boxes. She carried several suitcases upstairs to the bedroom. Chenji noticed something was wrong. All her upstairs. Furious, sensed something unusual. The in-laws. A white Eihuan said, Today Mr. and Mrs. Gu missed. Young madam came to visit. Yadam who received them. At his daughter-in-law. Cheeks and bruised arms from Grenran's beating. What did you do today? I saw the anger in her father-in-law's eyes. Trembling with Shima, turned to the bedroom, carefully cleaned each gift her parents had brought. Placing them in a corner with her suitcase, entered the room sure apple bobbing. I was only away for one day. Between you and sister-in-law, wiped her tears. Chenji heading straight to the bathroom. Though Zhang Chenji did nothing, makes plea guilty. Ran stayed in the bath half an hour, emerging with swollen eyes. Zhang Chenji had been waiting on the sofa the whole time. Seeing her unwilling to engage, he got up and left. Chenji went down, stopped the maid who had spoken earlier. Looking down at the timid maid, called, Tell me again who threw the first punch. The nervously second young master, young madam who struck first. Wei, Chenji warned, don't let me catch you. Slandering my wife. Constance would be unbearable. The terrified maid, overwhelmed by his presence, knelt before him, went straight to the surveillance, and pulled up all the footage from the living room. And beginning to it, old Master Jiang learned the whole truth in the living room. The ashtray from the coffee table. Run with force. The ash shattered into pieces instantly. Glass scattered on Weihua's feet by old Master, filled with rage. Could utter a single word. Anger towards his eldest daughter-in-law. Irregular. Come for old Master Jiang. Let me handle Eihua's education. Your health with anger. Eihua knows she was wrong. Weihua's knows. Me the Gu family tomorrow apologize. Dad, I won't go. Apologize. Ang family? Zhang said this, and the living room froze, as tears began to flow, choked with sobs. Family heard true, expecting because of someone who just married and parents-in-law would want to drive her out. Weihui stormed out. She turned and ran out, staggered backward, out of the sofa, his face stern. For expression, accompany me to the Gu family to apologize. Jan just went as the video ended. Pushing open the bedroom door, bulged behind the curtain. No need to guess. When hiding, Ran calmed herself in the room for a while, adjusting her voice to sound normal, before calling her parents. Hello, Dad. Just came home. Today. What did you leave so early? Didn't wait for turns. Indistinct response. Huran chuckled light. My husband, he treats me wonderfully. Today he suggested, or I can go shopping. 如果在家无聊可以出门逛. Said he'd pick me up after work to go home together. But I couldn't wait and left directly. Law treats me very well. Law has a sharp tongue. She's actually kind of family has many rules. In law constantly teaching me. But I'm not who likes to learn rules, which often annoys her greatly. Few words. Appears serious. Very kind-hearted. Dad, don't worry about. I'm living well here. Please don't worry unnecessarily. I'll come home to visit you in a few days. As Gu Ran described all his family members, felt unprecedented shame. A man nearly 30, bullying a girl who just turned 20, felt his own despicableness, and shame for his family, chatted a bit more with her parents, then hung up the phone, lifted the curtain, came out. To see the man sitting on the sofa. When did you get back? Facing Renren's delicate face. So speak harshly? He stood up with the phone video. An approach. See for yourself, it's not as she described. Though she showed some disrespect to your parents, it wasn't the verbal abuse she claimed, or in their expulsion. Ren watched the video. Her face. Jiangjia. Fixes for. What would I protect her? You're my lawful wife. Protection, it's you. Chenju took Renren's hand, placed her phone in her palm. But you should know the truth of Jiang residence in tears. A Jiang family gate. She turned to see her husband hadn't followed. Her resentment grew deeper. All Gunran. For her, I've been scolded by old Jiang, or driven out of the family. Ren watched the entire video in the bedroom. She handed it to Jiang Chenju. Did insult my parents. I can't forget her cold stares and contempt. I don't regret fighting with her. I believe I did nothing wrong. I'm not saying you were. Protecting parents is natural, but there are no buts. We're cut short by Ren interrupted. She glared at, if you mess with, I'll beat you up too. Papa. And you burst into laugh. He pointed at Renren's forehead. Quite the bold look serious. I mean it. What would I have to be? To mess with your family. Her words amused Jiang Chenju. Ron Manic. Being warned by his young wife, and possibly getting beaten by her later. The thought made him laugh. Seeing Ren had calmed down. She probably knew her parents weren't wronged. That's why anger subsided. He asked Granran why she has two faces. One sharp-tongued face, tolerating injustice. Argue with her and Weihua and old Jiang. Even fighting with Weihua. You also speak softly. Warm smiles. Chenji was immensely curious about his newlywed wife. He especially wanted to know how this girl ended up marrying him. Personality. If she refused, no one could force. Granran answered, one face is for family. The other is for strangers. Aren't you the same? Never had patience with embarrassment. Deliberately let others bully. But towards Gaiumer he's devoted and gentle. Granran's rhetorical question. Treatment of business partners and family. With a smile. mine. Exactly, Ren rolled her eyes, thinking marry me while loving someone else. Etruscamba. Chenji received an inexplicable glare. Completely confused, Wei had nowhere to go. She went directly Yana's home. Anna further exaggerated the story. Ini was she forcibly taken back by Mayor Zhang, but Mayor Zhang knew his wife would too angry to return home, so he stayed with her at a hotel. The Wei said shared marital bliss for years. She never kept secrets from her husband, counted Gao Yun's word. Mary, in general terms, seeing his wife's injured face, he wanted to scold, but felt more heartache instead. Told the Gao family had used her, warning her cut ties with the Gaos. Early next, Zhang Chenyu said if you want to visit your parents, I'll take you there. Make my parents suspicious. Returned in the afternoon. This time she stared sharply at Ranran. Ranran met her gaze directly. Daughter-in-law. Attitude softened. Never mentioned the Gu family apology again. Privately thought, my eldest is his wife is the mayoress. Apologized to commoners. With distant families would lose face. Compromise. Yesterday's words were impulsive. After I'm refreshed, minimize the issue. Let true matters. The Zhang family tacitly allowed this personality. He has remembered this incident. 2 more days of peace. Vestries had slightly healed. On the way to dinner, she crossed with Renren once again. Gura, I will make you pay for these scars on my face someday. Spoke calmly, for an expression. Still owe my parents an apology, then wait until the next life. Father's intention is, want me to degrade myself for this matter. Apologize to them. They'll just have to the humiliation. In the family, you need to know your place. I'll find my proper position. George, so knowing my place is it. Renren chuckled. We are the frequent family issues. Understanding. They returned home early. When Zhang Chenji wasn't home for lunch these days, raced with anxiety, preoccupied with fears of Renren causing another scene. Frequently checked his phone during meals, dreading calls from home. His heartbeat quickened abnormally. Did Mayor Zhang's, when leaving home each morning, specifically warned Weiwa not to confront Ranran again. She behaved well initially, grew arrogant after sensing old Jiang's favor. Pride resurfaced, feeling new attempts to bully Ran. She entered the dining room last, just as the meal, while others were washing hands, picked up chopstick and started eating for old Jiang's signal. Chenju sat by, his hound, when Ren would significant impact on one's own heart rate. This opportune to lead in picking a fight. Do you even understand basic etiquette? Before meals, parents teach you that. Ran served chopsticks on the dining table. To stare at Waihua. Did your facial injuries heal too quickly? You've forgotten the pay? Better not to mention this. Bringing it up just angers. Oya couldn't control her temper. She stood up. Ranran's in this family. Day. Above us. In-law's temper worsens with age. Must be reaching menopause when my grandmother was menopausal. Jinx and oral liquid. Quite well. Sister-in-law buy a case to try. Infuriated Waiwa completely. Mayor Giant closed his eyes in frustration. Picked on Ran. Being humiliated instead. Yet she never learns. As Waiwa prepared to hurl abuse at Ran. At the head table in Averna. Apologize to your sister-in-law. Apologize. She insulted me first. Couldn't stand Ran arguing stubbornly with him. With this family since you arrived. Every has been filled with casts. Won't you restrain your temperament? I've indulged you long enough. Ran. Thank you for your indulgence. But I don't want it. Gu Ran, do you understand what respect means? His mutual regard. Have you ever respected me? Retorted. We respect you. Where's the respect? Ran's count left the Zhang family speechless. The old man's face turned red. The Zhang family motto, seniority dictates propriety. The Zhang family, by this ancestral rule, all is our sister, and Ran being reprimanded by Elder Zhang, Brushin spread across her face, stared at her, clenching her fist. Apology to Waiwa through gritted teeth, gradually subsided, with a triumphant smile. Apologize to my parents, sister-in-law. Perhaps emphasize respecting elders. Let me ask you this. Hold this family tradition. Your mother is younger than me. Zhang family rule does deserve respect. Doesn't mean senior in age and status. Not I'm marrying Chenji. My parents are elder Jings in laws. Though they may be younger than you, a Jing seniority status. By hierarchy, you should address them as uncle and aunt. Last time they visited, humiliated. That violate the Jiang family principles. Arrowed at Elder Zhang's livid face. Am I wrong, father? The embarrassed Elder Zhang. All of you, get out! Haven't burned bridges with Elder Zhang. Nor cared about nothing. Preserving her dignity. She repeated, father. Was anything I said incorrect? I said get out. Clenched her fist. Ask a third time. Butler signaled the servants. Humidi seized Renran. Her outing room. Once outside. Tensions had become unbearable. Waiwa suppressed her breathing. Chenji remained seated calmly, rhythmically tapping the table. Meng reminded Chenji, go check on Ran. Chenji glanced toward the doorway. The remaining family members, slightly. Choir's considering its owner, he said, bullying my wife isn't slapping my face. His gaze was too piercing. I would dare not. His eyes. Law, am I making sense? Who remained silent. Chenji pressed again. Quite enthusiastic he meeting my wife earlier. How come you're mute now? Waiwa looked up Chenji. She deserved it. Chenji turned to old master. I wonder if my parents-in-law, worthy of an apology from the mayor's wife. Old Jiang reminded him. Sure, sister-in-law. Zhang Chenyu laughed sarcastically. How amusing, have you forgotten Ran is my wife? Wrong my wife for sister-in-law. Am I Zhang Chenji the pathetic? Calmly quoting Zhang family precepts to Wei Ehua. Elders should exemplify propriety, don't forget you're a Zhang. Hold our family principles, unless you're no longer one. His sinister smile shocked Wei Ehua. He strode out of the dining room. He went upstairs to find Ran. The woman was unexpectedly gone. He demanded Colbert's second young madam. Young madam ran out crying earlier. We don't know where she went. Chenji went outside, but found no trace of Run. Somewhere to cry again. The era stopped searching. Let her cry outside. Show her when she's done. Called his assistant again. Purchase another property. Can't stay in the Jiang residence anymore. Intended to let Wei Ehua bully Run, but ended with Run storming off. Grows more chaotic daily. His mind stays home even while working. To end this trike, we must buy a house and move immediately. Personal feelings towards the Yunnan villa. Doesn't want unrelated women living there. Properly. to come home to inform her about moving out, but she waited until 12 p.m. with no sign of Ran. Called Ran to find her phone ringing in the couch crevice. Ran left without her phone. Realizing, Chenji started searching outside. No trace found her extensive searching. He then went to the surveillance, was taken out by servants in the afternoon, broke free from their grasp, went out alone to the Jiang resident. Have passed since then. A temperament. If she's been wronged, returned to her parents. Where could she be then? As time kept passing, he grew anxious. A young girl, out late night. Better not anything happen. Like finding a needle in a haystack. Blind search. Meanwhile, after running out alone, realized she brought neither phone nor wallet. To avoid worrying her parents, she went to her best friend's place. While with her friend, Ran forgot she's married, playing until late night, unaware the Jiangs were searching everywhere for her. Chenji could wait any longer. The later it got, no sign of Ran. His anxiety, he called his subordinates to search every corner of Z City, then contacted friends for assistance. Bai Chen, about to sleep, received his call. Who the hell is Gu Ran? You have a wife. And she ran away. 3 minutes after Jiang, Chenji hung up. His 3 other brothers, from overseas one after, asking him, Chem, I heard your wife ran off with someone. Jiang Chenji, bro, how could this happen to you? Supposed to be quite charming. How did your wife run away right after marriage? Chenji took a deep. If I didn't need Bai Chen right now, definitely sue his mouth shut. Angry. From abroad. Confirmed his sworn brother's wife had eloped. I'm coming to Dongo to be with you. Hamza, as friends we should stay by his side through these dark days. Under the guise of helping through heartbreak, wanting to see the wife's appearance. What kind of woman? Cheat on Jiang Chenju? The Jiang searched for Ran all night. Was alarmed. Faced on the sofa. His fists tied. Blaming Ran was futile now, and you stayed awake all night. Ran's return next day. The next noon, after gathering information, returned to Jiang resident, Camlian. She gazed at the gate, taking deep breaths to steel herself, having stayed out all night. A scolding was inevitable. Yesterday's household outburst. Now returning considerably, she vowed to control her temper, lose composure again. Made her meditating husband open his eyes, watching his wife enter from the blazing sun. Her nervousness didn't escape his notice. Chinul arms, adjusting his posture on the sofa. Ran paused at the doorway. He strode towards the living room, staying out eye and communication. Who gave you the audacity to do this? Old Jiang, are you defying me? Gnashed his teeth in her. His expression frightened Ran. Froused yesterday. Forgot my phone when I left. Couldn't inform the family. Don't call. Jalal roared. Preps together. Dared not speak further. Jalal had been suppressing his rage. Peak of his anger. Divorce his second son. But seeing her standing there obedient, be scolded, recalled the butler's constant reminders. After all, he forced her into this. Do you admit your fault? Gaze turned shut. Ran. Wei remained silent throughout. She knew Jiang Lao was furious. Dared knock, but she wondered if Ran would apologize for yesterday. Chenji also watched her, impulsive to stay an eye. Would she be defiant again today? I don't see my... Ran lived up to Chenji's expectations. Ons was as stubborn as predicted. This answer enraged the restrained Jiang Lao. Go reflect in the confinement room. Till you admit your fault. He summoned the butler, pointing an order, take her to reflect. Butler tried to mediate. Do you defy me too? Lao Glai, the mild-mannered butler, fell silent. He led Ran to confinement. Ran expected reprimand, but not actual punishment. Confined, bitter in her heart. Confinement chamber, at the girl putting on a brave front. Scratch, apologize the master, can be waived. Thank you for your kindness, but attain my innocence. Roran stepped into the dark room.